Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudирayat Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. Before speaking from Srimad Bhagavatam, let me beg mercy from my beloved spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Parivrajika Jajja, Shtotra Sati Shishimad Advai Charanal, Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Namam Vishnupadaya, Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namani, Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane, Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschate Shatane. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanam Janakshalakai Chakshurunmilitam Deva Tasmai Shri Gurave Mukam Karati Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yakripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Vilatanam Angsho Bhagavatasmaham Sadada Sasmi Sarvatam Yakripa Dikshato Nityam Tatveshti Satguru Nisam Hey Guru Jnanada Dina Bandho Swanandada Tatpuranayika Sindhu Vrindavanasena Hitavatara Prasida Radha Priyapachara Nama Shreshtam Manumapi Sachiputramatra Sarupam Rupam Tasya Gajamurapari Matarin Dushtavati Radha Kundam Girivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Patitataya Shri Purim Tamyatasmi Tvam Gopika Vishwaragistani Antake Se Sevadikari Guru Nijapad Padme Dasyam Pradaya Gurumam Brajatanane Shri Radham Visevana Vasen Sukurum Sukapur Radha Sammukha Sansaktim Sati Sangrani Vasanam Tamaham Satatam Vande Madhavashvara Janulambita Bhujo Kanaka Vadatu Sankirtanaika Pito Kamalaya Taksha Vishambara Jajavaro Jagatharmapano Vande Jagat Priya Guru Karuna Vatana Vande Nanda Piteshwaram Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nichopi Yat Prasad Sad Bhakti Shastra Nityanandam Maham Nomi Sarvananda Kadam Padam Harinam Kadam Devam Shalom Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vansha Kapratu Vishta Kata Sindhu Vidanam Padamabho Vishnadev Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So this morning I've been requested to speak from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, uh, Brahma Vimohan Lila. Brahma Vimohan Lila means the pastime when Lord Brahma becomes bewildered. This is an interesting thing because it gives us some sense of how powerful Krishna's Maya is. He says, Mama Maya Duratyaya. My Maya is insurmountable. Duratyaya. Lord Brahma himself, the creator, who was specifically empowered by the Lord to create this entire material universe. If he can become bewildered, what is our position? Yesterday we spoke about Lord Indra, how Lord Indra became bewildered. So, misunderstanding the identity of Krishna. So in this Leela, Lord Brahma becomes quite bewildered. So this is very instructive that if he can become bewildered, what is our position? We're always bewildered. And the evidence is that we think that this material world is our home, that I can stay here in this material world, I can enjoy, I can be happy, life is good. People think if I have money in the bank, if my wife loves me, if my husband loves me, if my kids are obedient, my friends respect me, I have a job, I have a car, I have a home, life is good. I love my life. But they have no inkling of what is the actual nature of this material world. Krishna says this material world is anityam asukam lokam. It's impermanent and there's no real happiness, but everybody wants to make it permanent and enjoy forever. And they spend their whole life trying to arrange their life in such a way to become happy, to create a completely false sense of happiness. Because what does material happiness have to do with the self? Krishna calls it sansparsha jabhoga, happiness derived from our senses. That happiness has its beginning and its end. Yehi sansparsa jabhoga dukkha yone evate adyantavanta konteya nateshu ramate buddha. Intelligent person doesn't take pleasure in that kind of happiness because adyantavanta konteya, it has its beginning, it has its end. So we all want happiness, but where do we get happiness? Not in this world. It's an impossible proposition that we can actually be happy here. We can grasp some few drops. Srila Prabhupada many times likened it to a person looking for water in the desert. And someone comes and says, I have some water for you. And he gives a few drops of water. You want to kill the guy. I need to satisfy my thirst. I don't need a drop, I need an ocean. And our nature is anandam buddhivar. We want unlimited happiness. Satchit ananda. We want ananda. It's our nature. Our birthright is to enjoy happiness. We want that. But we only get a drop here. We only get a drop. There's a nice story in Chaitanya Charitamrita. A man is running across a field, being chased by a tiger. The tiger wants to kill him and eat him. As he's running, he falls into a grass-covered well. There's water at the bottom of the well. Surely he'll drown. There's a tiger at the top. He's falling down, but there's a root hanging out from the side of the well. He grabs the root. He's in a very precarious position. The tiger wants to eat him. There's water at the bottom. He'll surely drown. No one will know that he's in the bottom of the well. And to add insult to injury, there's a wasp nest, and the wasps are coming out and stinging him. The tiger is there, the water is there, the wasp is there. And a little drop of honey is coming from the wasp nest, and he's tasting the sweetness and thinking, oh, this is very good. This is very tasty. This is like our life. We're haunted by our own material desires. We can die at any moment. It's a struggle for existence just to keep food in our mouth, clothes on our back, a roof over our head. But we get little sense gratification, so we think life is okay. This is illusion. This is the effect of Krishna's Maya. Mama Maya Durajaya. So if Lord Brahma can be illusioned by this Maya, what is our position? But Mami Viye Prabhadyante Mayamitam Tarantite. If we surrender to Krishna, then we become free from that. So this Leela ultimately is about Lord Brahma's surrender, his illusion, and his becoming free from that illusion and offering beautiful, meaningful prayers at the lotus feet of the Lord. So Krishna was sitting in Vrindavan with his beloved friends. We should take note, who are these friends? Bhagavatam says, Itam satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasam gatana paradaivatena maya shritanam paradaivatena sakam vijaru krita punya punja. That these are not ordinary living entities. Krishna has his nitya parikar, who never touched the material world. And persons who become perfect by sadhana can enter into this Sakya Ras with Krishna and sit and eat with Krishna on the strength of sadhana bhakti. Others are nitya siddhi, they're eternally, they never fall into Maya, they never leave Krishna's association. So Krishna is sitting on the banks of Jamuna, the beautiful groves of Vrindavan, Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Krishna is wandering in the beautiful groves on the banks of Jamuna with his friends. They're laughing, they're joking, they're playing, they're chasing their shadows, they're imitating the sounds of the peacock, they're dancing like peacocks, they're enjoying more than we can imagine, beyond the scope of our imagination, they're enjoying. So they're sitting with Krishna and eating. And Krishna's, out of intimate relationship, is taking food from their plate and putting it in his own mouth. And the devotee, the sakhas, are taking food from Krishna's plate and putting, no, Aiswarja, no, this mood of Dasya Ras. He's the Lord. I have to be very careful. And actually, this is one of the meanings of this rasa. This beautiful lila of Brahma Vimohan Lila is meant to remove the offense of thinking that Aiswarja Lila is superior to Madhurya Lila. This is the Lila, the intimate Lila. The cowherd boys are associated with Krishna personally, eating with him. And when he sits, they all sit in a circle. And they open their tiffins, and Mother Jashoda sent Krishna beautiful food stuff, big bundi ladus, and sandesh, and rasgulla, gulab jamun, halava, puri, just amazing feast prepared by the love of Mother Jashoda. And all the cowherd boys are sitting around Krishna, and everyone opens their tiffin, and they go and pick beautiful leaves, large leaves, and they put their food, their prasadam, on the leaf, and they're all eating. Now it's interesting to note, and Srila Prabhupada says in the purport to this story, that they're sitting in a circle and everyone is seeing Krishna face to face. Imagine the scene. If there's a circle and Krishna is in the center of the circle, someone should be seeing Krishna's back and someone should be seeing Krishna's front, correct? If this were the situation here in this world, in this Martya Loka, this world of death, if there's a person sitting in this circle, someone will see his surrounding that person, someone will see his face, someone will see his back. But all the cowherd boys are relishing seeing Krishna eye to eye and face to face and eating delicious foodstuffs in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is happiness. This is the only happiness, not the so-called happiness of this material world. We should take note and always remember this. When Maya's call is there, come enjoy with me. We can kick out Maya when we understand what actual happiness is, the relationship with Krishna. So they're sitting, eating beautiful, delicious foodstuffs, and as they're eating, the calves actually, because the boys in their youth are only given the responsibility to take care of the calves. And it's not until Krishna gets older that he gets the responsibility of taking care of the cows. And this is Gopashtami. When Krishna, you can say he graduates from the calves to the cows. So as they're taking the delicious lunch, the calves wander away. So Krishna, out of his compassion, out of his love for his friends, the Gopas, thinks, I don't want to disturb their lunch. You stay and eat. Don't disturb, don't get up. I'll get up. I'll go find what happened to the calves. So he goes to look for the calves. And as he's looking through the forest of Vrindavan, trying to understand where did the calves go, Lord Brahma appears and steals the cowherd boys, the Gopas. He's already stolen the calves. That's why they're missing in action. And he took the calves and the cowherd boys, and they put them under his mystic power in a cave and sealed the cave. And thought, now we'll see what kind of mystic power this Krishna has compared to my mystic power, because I am Lord Brahma. He has this ahankar. And he wanted to test Krishna because when Krishna killed Aghasur, all the cowherd boys entered into the mouth of Aghasur. Krishna also entered, and Aghasur closed his mouth, and then he felt some burning sensation, and Krishna expanded himself and killed Aghasur. And when that particle of light, the soul of Aghasur, was seen to enter the body of Krishna, Lord Brahma witnessed this, thought, what kind of person who is this boy? Who is this boy? The Brajvasis make a big deal about this young cowherd boy. He's very attractive, certainly, but who is he? He had some doubt, so he wanted to test Krishna. He wanted to see, who is this boy? So he stole them all the way and came back to see what was the situation. What will Krishna do without his beloved friends and without the cows? And he came back to see everything exactly as he had left it. Same boys, same calves, and he became Vimohan. Now there's a purpose to this Leela, because the cows, when they give milk to Krishna, they think, when they're being milked, they're thinking milk is going to Krishna. When will that day come when Krishna will take milk directly from me? Take directly milk from my udder. So they're thinking like that. Mother, the Gopas, the elderly Gopas, the mothers of the young cowherd boys, are thinking, Mother Jashoda is so fortunate that she sleeps with Krishna. She feeds Krishna from her own breast. She embraces Krishna to her chest. She gets this amazing Vatsalya prem. If only we could have that. And Lord Brahma wanted to understand. So for these reasons, and also for Krishna's own desire to taste the loving affection of the cowherd, the mothers of the Gopas, and the loving affection of the cows. To taste this rasa of love with his devotees. Also, this is another reason this Leela took place. So Krishna manifest himself as all the cowherd boys, as all the cows. Lord Brahma came. What is this? And he became bewildered. He went back to see to the cave. All the boys and calves are in the cave still. And he comes back, but they're still here with Krishna. He became completely vimohan, completely bewildered by Krishna's superior yogic power, mystic power, supreme mystic power. And Krishna's power was so much influential that even the mothers of the cowherd boys and the cows, the mothers of the calves, couldn't distinguish between their own son and between their own calf. But their desire to feed their boys with their own breast, to embrace their own boys to their chest, they're not embracing their son, they're embracing Krishna. Their desire to embrace Krishna, to feed Krishna from their own breast is fulfilled in this Leela. And the cows also, their desire to feed Krishna directly, because the calf was also Krishna. He expanded in such an amazing way that their own mothers couldn't understand the difference. The same form, the same clothes, the same decoration, same facial features, same hair, same turban, everything exactly the same. Their own mothers couldn't tell the difference. This is the amazing power of Krishna's uh, mystic power. So their desire was fulfilled. And Lord Brahma is standing completely bewildered. This went on for a full year. And this is why uh, this Leela of Aghasurs, because in the beginning of this chapter, Parikshit Maharaj asked, why was this Leela of Aghasur Vad, the killing of Aghasur, why was it not discussed for 1 year? Because the original cowherd boys were locked up in the cave, and Krishna had manifested everyone by his own mystic power. So after 1 year passed, then and Lord Brahma is completely bewildered. Krishna manifests before Lord Brahma. The original form of these cowherd boys and cows as Vishnu Murti, Chaturbhuj Vishnu Murti, with beautiful kundala and earrings and flower garland and 4 arms and bluish complexion and Shrivatsa. And all other Brahmas, all other Shivas are coming and worshipping these forms. And Lord Brahma is thinking, who is this person, Krishna? By whose power he manifests these thousands of Vishnu forms? Because make no mistake, when Krishna goes for cow herding, how many cows do you think he goes with? Like 20, 50, 100, 1,000? He goes with 9 lakhs of cows when he goes cow herding. And he knows the name of each cow and calls them with love. And the cows moo back in affection. This loving relationship with God is there even between the cows and Krishna. So 9 lakhs of cows mean 9 lakhs of Vishnu Murtis. Lord Brahma is looking at the scene and is completely bewildered. Who is this boy Krishna? So he surrenders to Krishna. He falls down like golden stick before Lord Krishna and touches his 4 helmets to the ground and completely surrenders to Krishna. At this point, he offers very, very beautiful prayers. We should memorize some of these prayers because they're very important for our progress in the spiritual life. Let us examine some of these prayers. He says, no, not this. Tatenukampam samisusamikshmana bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam tagbhag vapubir viditam namaste jiveta yubhakti sadayabhak. That how do we become eligible for Krishna's anukampartam, his mercy? That we have to practice susamikshamana. We have to earnestly, we have to beg mercy from Krishna. We have to beg mercy. And Bunjana means we have to tolerate the circumstance of our own life. In every devotee's life, in every living being's life, even in devotees' lives, we're not exempt from material suffering. We become diseased, our mind becomes disturbed, we may have disturbances in our social relationships, we may have disturbances in our body. They do come without doubt. All of these disturbances come to our life. So Bunjana, we have to tolerate, we have to endure all of these obstacles in our life. Why? Evatna kritam vipakam, because evatna kritam, we've created them. We've created these situations by our own foolish desire to enjoy in this material world. We get this hint also in Bhagavad Gita. Purusha prakritisto, where Lord says, Purusha prakritisto hi bhunkte prakriti jan gunan karanam guna sangasya sadasa joni janmasu. Lord says that we are the soul, we're the Purusha, and we're prakritisto hi. We're situated in Prakriti. This is an incompatible situation. We can't be happy in Prakriti because we're Purusha. We're part and parcel of Mavayavam, so Jiva Loke, Jiva, we're part and parcel of Krishna, his Angsha. We have the same characteristic as Krishna, qualitatively exactly the same as God. How can we be happy in Prakriti? In earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intellect. We can't be happy here. So, but by our desire to enjoy that Purusha Prakriti Stohi, Bhungte Prakriti Jan Gunan, because we want to enjoy Prakriti, enjoy the material world, enjoy our senses in the material world, Sadasad, Joni Janmasu, we get a Sat Joni, we get a very good birth, or we get a Sat Joni, a very impious, suffering birth. Typically, we're all somewhere in between. Somewhere between black and white are the gray areas. That is our life. We all suffer to some degree, unavoidably. So what do we have to do? Punjana. And understand that whatever is happening, it's not that Krishna is causing us trouble. We've caused ourselves trouble. Everybody wants to blame God. Why is there war? These atheist people say, if there's God, why is there war? Why is there disease? Why do young children get killed in horrendous automobile accidents? Why does some innocent little child die from leukemia or cancer? What did they do? They're innocent people. Because they don't understand what is the nature of the soul, they say innocent. No one is innocent because we're punished in this world. We're suffering in this world. This is proof of guilt. If someone is locked in prison, are they there indiscriminately? Of course, sometimes they get locked in prison. They're convicted in a court of law uh, when they're not guilty. But typically, anyone in prison has committed some crime and they're suffering their sentence because of their crime. So our crime, we've committed the crime of coming to this material world. I want to enjoy this material world is meant for me. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect. Ishwaraham aham bhogi sedoham balavan sukhi. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the enjoyer. Okay, go to the material world. See how you like that enjoyment. See how you like that experience. So we can't blame Krishna. We've committed the offense and everyone wants to blame God. Why has God done this? Some person dies some horrible death. They think, what did they do? Because they don't have vision of the soul that in their last life, they've committed some horrible sin. And in this life, they're experiencing the result. There's no other reasonable explanation outside of the laws of karma for the suffering of the living being in this world. Is God playing some, he's just arbitrarily picking numbers like there's a big bowl and everybody has their name in the bowl and God puts his hand in the bowl and pulls out your name written on a piece of paper. Okay, you are going to suffer horrible death. Oh, and you are going to become the CEO of Google. You're going to become a multimillionaire. You're going to become famous. You're going to become diseased. You won't live to see the next day. You're going to be aborted. Is God playing favorites? Is he cursing someone and blessing another person? No. We have evatna kritam vipakam. We've created our own situation in life. So what is the solution? Bhunjana, that you tolerate. And tadvag vapubir, vidanam namaste, with your body, your mind, your words, you worship and you do pranam to him. And in this way, we get the opportunity for devotional service. We get the opportunity to become liberated. Now, Srila Goswami, Srila Swami writes in reference, his commentary, his tika on this verse, he comments that just as a person who wants to inherit the wealth of his father only has to stay alive to do so, this is our responsibility in Krishna Bhakti. We just have to stay alive in Krishna Bhakti, tolerating the ups and downs of life. Sometimes we're happy in spiritual life. Sometimes we're unhappy. We feel depressed. We feel hopeless. We think, I'm such a bad devotee. I can never do this. I can never become a pure devotee. This is all mental stuff. This is all mental burden. This is Krishna's Maya. We have to get beyond that Maya. Miche Maya Boshe Kacha Hab. Miche Maya Boshe Kacha Habudububai. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, sometimes we're riding in the crest of happiness, sometimes we're in the trough of despair. That is what we call life. We have to tolerate. Stay alive in Krishna Bhakti. And by staying alive in Krishna Bhakti, by earnestly earnestly desiring his mercy, anukampartam, and tolerating bunjana, we become eligible to leave this material world and go back to Godhead. It's actually simple. So it's a simple thing. It's a simple solution. But the devil, as they say, devil is in the details. How to practice Krishna Bhakti in happiness, how to practice Krishna Bhakti in distress. Because happiness and distress is what? Sansparsha. It's based on sansparsha. Yehi sansparsha bhoga, dukkha yoniya evate. That our unhappiness comes from when we touch the material world with our senses. So we should learn to tolerate these things. They're like summer and winter seasons, correct? Matra sparshasto kontaya sitoshna, again sparsh. We experience summer and winter seasons, happiness and distress through our senses. Matra sparshasto sitoshna sukha dukkha agama painonitas tam stitikshasva bharata. So bunjana, we tolerate. Titiksha, we tolerate happiness and distress, and we go on with our spiritual life. Distress will come. It's not the result of your some offense or something. Sometimes devotees say, "Oh, I made some big offense." Well, devotees make offense, but you can become free from that offense by there's no other prayastita, there's no other upaya except bhakti. Bhakti has no other upaya but bhakti. We go on in our bhakti. We go on steadfast, drida with determination, and we'll get Krishna's mercy. Suksamikshamana. We have to beg for that mercy. This is Lord Brahma's instruction. We have to take shelter of the boat of Krishna Bhakti. This is another beautiful verse spoken by Lord Brahma as he glorifies Krishna, having fallen down at his feet. He says, Samashitaye padapallava plabam mahatpadam punya yasho marari bhavam gudir vatsaparam padam 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 yad vipadam natesha. He says this material world is a very dangerous place. Padam padam. There's danger at every step. And is it not true? We think everything will be nice. Look at the situation in the world today. Would anyone have thought that the entire human race would be turned upside down by the propaganda of the media, by a virus, by the combined effect of all these? It's not the same world. 6 months ago, who would have thought? This is a dangerous world. There's danger at every step. You may think, I'm just going to the grocery store to buy groceries. My aunt went to the grocery store. She thought, oh, I have to stock the refrigerator. I have to go to buy. She didn't think I'm going to die. But she went to the grocery store and she fell dead in the aisle of the grocery store because her time was up. Padam padam yad vipadam. There's danger at every step. She's thinking, I'm just going to buy some groceries. But she died in the grocery store. Someone may get in the car, let's go for a picnic. Let's go to a movie. Horrendous car accident can occur. You're not going to a movie. You're going to your next birth. Because this is the nature of this material world. Can anyone deny this? Any thoughtful person, any honest person cannot deny the nature of this material world. This is the life we've chosen by our foolishness. We've come to Martuloga where there's no guarantee that we see the next sunrise. So padam padam, there's danger at every step. What is the solution? Samashitaye, padapallava plamam, that Krishna's lotus feet are like a boat. If we take shelter of his lotus feet, we can cross over the entire material creation and all its misery, all its trouble, all its suffering, all its anxiety, all the miseries and trouble of this material world as easily as a person can step over the amount of water contained in the hoof print of a calf. Is it a difficult thing? A calf doesn't leave a very big impression in the dirt, and when it rains, it fills with water. Can you step over that. It's an easy thing to step over. So one can cross over the whole ocean of material experience, a whole ocean of material existence as easily as one crosses over the amount of water contained in the hoofprint of a calf by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. This is Lord Brahma's beautiful prayer. So we should read through this. There's many other prayers we can recite, and we should read this chapter, Lord Brahma's prayers. In this, when after he surrenders to Krishna, and he speaks his prayers. And he also speaks, what is the way? What is the way to understand Krishna? Atapite, this is also Lord Brahma's prayer. Atapite deva padam bhujatvaya prasada leshanda grihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanne eko pichiram vichinva. That if one gives up the speculative mentality and just desires a fragment, prasada lesha, if we get prasada lesha, a fragment of mercy, then we can understand the glories of the Lord. Otherwise, it's impossible. It's impossible to approach that person who is inconceivable. Srila Jiva Goswami has said that the first proposition to understand the Lord is to understand he is inconceivable. He is achintya. How can you understand someone who's inconceivable? How can you conceive of someone's inconceivable? It's inconceivable. But Krishna becomes conceivable by his mercy. He becomes conceivable by his mercy. And this we read also in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Tesham satata yuktanam vajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhiyogam tam jainamam upayantite. Tesham evanukam part, next verse, Tesham evanukam partam agyan jamtama nasham yatma bhavasto jnana deepena basvata. He says that if you engage yourself in my service, satata yuktanam, without deviation, always be engaged in Krishna's service. How? Not officially, not because I'm supposed to, because I have to, because they told me I have to do this if you want to stay here, but with bhajatam priti, with affection for Krishna, with feeling for Krishna. If we worship him in this way, with feeling, not deviating, he says he gives us special benediction. It's not that we serve Krishna and there's no reciprocation. Reciprocation is dadami buddhi yogam tam. This dadami, he says, I give dadami, personal program. I personally give what? Buddhi yogam, the intelligence by which you can come to me. This world is full of intelligent people. There's no shortage. Well, actually, it depends how we define intelligence, but there's many brainy people in this world, but do they get buddhi yogam, the knowledge by which they come to Krishna? No, this is the exclusive property of devotees. It's the dami buddhiyam yena mam upayantita. I give you this intelligence by which you can come to me, not by which you can solve quantum mechanics theory, trigonometry, geometry, geology, not physics, not this type of intelligence, but the intelligence, the most refined, sublime intelligence by which we come to Krishna. This is his gift. Next verse is Tesham evanu kampartam aham jnana jamtama nasham yatma bhavasto jnana dipena basa. Out of my mercy, anu kampartam, I with the shining lamp of knowledge destroy the darkness born of ignorance. This is the greatest mercy from Krishna, and we get that just by serving him. Just by serving him. Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayada Haitukam. By serving Vasudeva, what is the result? He's not impersonal, he's not void, he's not a light, a zero, a nothing, he's a person. And he wants to reciprocate with his devotee. That reciprocation comes, Anukampartam, his mercy, by which we get jnana, knowledge, who I am, what is this world, what is the goal of life, what is my happiness, and how do I achieve it? We get this jnanam and vairagyam, detachment. Jnana, vairagyam, ahaitukam, causeless, because there's no cause for his mercy. He's not obliged to us, but he feels obligation because of the love of his devotee, because of the service attitude of the devotee. He said, Samoham sarvabhuteshu nami bhaktoshina priya. He says, I'm equal to everyone, but I cannot remain equal to my devotee. He has special affection for his devotee. He's Bhakta Vatsal. He's not Jnani Vatsal, Yogi Vatsal, Karmi Vatsal. He's Bhakta Vatsal. He has special loving affection for devotees, and he removes our ignorance, thinking, I am the enjoyer of this world. I live here forever. I am perfect. I am powerful. I am happy. No, we're foolish. We're most unfortunate. Krishna removes that ignorance by his mercy. And we get his mercy, prasada lesha, by engaging in his service. So how did Lord Brahma get mercy? Falling down at Krishna's feet. His illusion was dispelled when he saw the actual power of Krishna's mystic power. Prabhupada comments in this in the story in the Krishna book that Lord Brahma felt that his mystic power was like that of a glowworm. He said glowworm. I'm not exactly sure what glowworm is. I think maybe it's this we call firefly in English. They in the night you see them flying, and they have some little effulgence. They emit light when they fly. So maybe he's meaning like this. So what is this firefly or glowworm in comparison to the sun? Is nothing. So Lord Brahma was humbled by the unlimited mystic power of Krishna, who manifests himself as these cowherd boys, manifests himself as the calves, and simultaneously when Krishna does Leela, many purposes are fulfilled simultaneously. So in this Leela, the feelings of the cows to directly serve Krishna was fulfilled. The feeling of the mothers to directly serve Krishna was fulfilled, to embrace Krishna, to feed Krishna. Lord Brahma was humiliated, was put in his rightful place in relation to Krishna, and Krishna's own desire to enjoy the loving affection of the cows and of the cowherd, elderly cowherd ladies. All of these things happen simultaneously. This is the amazing Leela of Krishna. So when we read these Leelas, we should enter into them deeply and appreciate our good fortune. And in this way, make progress in our own spiritual life. So it's become 9 o'clock already. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Vansha kopatubhishcha kripa sindhudevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Wonderful Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Wonderful devotees ki jai. Vansha kopatubhishcha. Hare Krishna. Anyone has any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhuji, you told that by hearing these Leelas, we should see that how cowherd boys were happy with Krishna. And so when we know what is real happiness, then we can kick out Maya's happiness. But Prabhuji, we see, I find in my life that when urge for sense gratification comes, then generally the power of resistance is not there. We succumb to the desires for sense gratification. So why it happens, Prabhuji, and what is the solution? Because we don't have a higher test also much.
Yeah, very nice question. Srila Prabhupada gave a nice example. Two things I can tell you from Srila Prabhupada. Very good instruction. First thing is, he said that a man can never forget his mother, because he said we may forget our father, but we can't forget our mother, because this body is a product of our mother's body, correct? It's created, our body is created in our mother's body. It's the same flesh, it's the same blood, it's the same bones. It's the same thing. So he said, in the same way, because we're born in this material world, Gita says, Satyam Rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhava nibadhanti mahabaho dehi namram abhyayam. That the soul is by nature pure, but when we come to this world, we give up that purity and become under the influence of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, the modes of material nature. So because we've come in contact with this material, it feels very natural to be in Maya. And it feels unnatural. Oh, I have to control my senses. Oh, big job. I have to control my mind. Oh, how can I do that? I have to chant this mantra 2 hours plus every day. I have to do seva. Oh, this is so difficult. It seems difficult because we identify with the material world. So how to get over that? Srila Prabhupada was asked one time by one of my godbrothers. He asked Srila Prabhupada, he quoted this verse from Bhagavad Gita, Mam chayo vivicharina bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhoyaya kalpate. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you take shelter of my devotional service, you easily cross beyond the influence of the modes of material nature. But Srila Prabhupada, I do not feel very transcendental to the modes of material nature. Why? I'm engaged in devotional service. Why have I not transcended the modes of material nature? Why do I still feel the pushing of Maya? Srila Prabhupada answered. He said, devotional life is like a boat. We're on the boat of Krishna Bhakti. But a boat's nature is because it's floating on the water. Sometimes it rocks this side, that side. And that is the pushing that everyone feels, the attraction of Maya. Remember this experience? Wasn't that nice? Wouldn't you like to try that again? Our mind is still attracted to the material world. This is the rocking of the boat. Srila Prabhupada said, stay in the boat and you will cross to the other shore, cross beyond the modes of material nature in due course of time. So the solution is take shelter of the process of Krishna Bhakti and practice. This is Krishna's advice. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanyagamina paramam purusham divyam yati parthanuchin. That abhyasa means practice. We have to practice because na anyagamina. How can you not keep your mind focused? It's such an easy thing. It's very, very difficult thing. People think bhakti is for old people and for kids. Oh, Makan Chor and Christian lifted Govardhan Hill. It's all very cute, nice stories from Mahabharata, from Ramayana, from Srimad Bhagavatam, all cute stories, all mythological. This is the highest tattva. This is the highest thing. Bhakti is the highest thing. Jnana is for persons of less qualification. Bahunam janmanamante jnana mamam prapadite, Krishna says. After practicing jnana for lifetimes, millions of lifetimes maybe, you may come to bhakti. Bhakti is the most difficult thing because we have to give up our false ego. We have to give up millions of lifetimes of conditioning, of trying to enjoy in this material world. What is the solution? Abhyasa. We have to practice. You can't snap your fingers and become free from lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, fear. These are all the things that haunt our mind like a ghost. Our mind is like ghostly haunted by previous sensual experiences. And you're not going to give it up overnight. Snap your fingers. Done with that. We have to practice. We have to tolerate. Tolerate is a huge asset in our Krishna bhakti. Titikshasa, punjana, tolerate. Be earnestly desiring for Krishna's mercy and tolerate. There's no other solution, Prabhu. It's not going to happen overnight. But as we do this, we should note our progress. There's no other solution. But we should think of where you were. If you've been a devotee 5 years, think of where you were 6 years ago. If you were a devotee, if you're a devotee 6 months, think of where you were 7 months ago. If you were a devotee 50 years ago, if you were been a devotee 50 years, think where we were 51 years ago, and appreciate the amazing progress that we make by this simple process. Krishna becomes available to us. One day our heart melts in love of God. Nayanam galada shudaraya badanam gadgadarudaya gira pulakaya nichitam bapukada tavanama grahane bhavishyati. Bhavishyati means in the future. Our eyes will be in torrents of rain will come from our eyes. Our hairs on our body will stand up. We won't be able to speak. Chanting your name, remembering you, thinking of you. This is the legacy that Srila Prabhupada left us. The benefit, our rightful claim by practice of Krishna Bhakti. So we go on in Krishna Bhakti. We tolerate Maya's temptations, and we go on in our Krishna Bhakti, and we stay in the association with devotees. You'll definitely become Maya's victim if you leave the association with devotees. You should take a vow, no matter what happens, no matter how disturbed my mind becomes, no matter how bad my japa becomes, no matter how negligent my service becomes, I'll never leave the association of devotees, and you'll always be protected. So those are some things. There's no just simple answer. Oh, Prabhu, do like this and the problem's solved. It's not a simple answer. We have to tolerate, we have to go on with our bhakti, and in due course of time, our success is guaranteed if we simply continue the process. Bus. Is okay.
Sarvadrik, Haribol.
Haribol. Ajay Maharaj, Dandava Pranam.
Dhanabas, glories to Prabhupada.
All praise to Shri-
I've been wanting to discuss this with senior devotees for a long time. You explained the Brahma Mahotsav Leela so nicely. But there's a great mystery surrounding that Leela. The question that I have thought over for years is, Lord Brahma stole the calves and the cowherd boys and all that. And it would seem that he was acting out of false ego. Yet the whole thing was, false ego is material energy. Yet the whole thing is engineered under Lila Shakti, the internal potency. So I'm just wondering, what is your understanding that a mix between false ego is material, or was it that he was under completely 100% under Yoga Maya and only resembled a material false ego?
Actually, you brought up a very important point, Maharaj. I neglected to speak about that, but this is very important point because Lord Brahma is who? He's our Sampradaya Acharya. This is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. He's Adi Guru. He's original Guru in our Sampradaya. How can he fall under Yoga Maya? Only by Yoga Maya. Same thing, how can Arjuna fall into Maya? How can Parikshit fall into Maya? They're all family members of Krishna. If Yoga Maya is not there, there's no Srimad Bhagavatam. If Yoga Maya is not there, there's no Bhagavad Gita. And if Yoga Maya is not there, then there's no Brahma Vimohan Leela. Lord Brahma becomes completely bewildered by Krishna's Maya, so this Leela can come out. So Krishna can show the superiority, his own superiority and the power of his own energy, his Yoga Maya. And Krishna, Yoga Maya, this is amazing thing, is if we think Yoga Maya is so powerful, it's his Maya that makes devotees think Krishna is just my son. Like Mother Yashoda thinks, he's just my boy. If I don't feed him, he'll starve. If I don't keep a careful eye over him, he may fall into Jamuna. He may get in trouble with monkeys. He may end up to be a thief. He's always stealing things. I have to correct his behavior. This is Yoga Maya. But Yoga Maya is so powerful that even Krishna thinks, I am the son of Mother Yashoda. And she is my mother. I have to obey my mother. Because if he's thinking I'm God, he can't relish Mother Yashoda's Vatsalya Prem. So this is amazing nature of Krishna's Yoga Maya, amazing power of Krishna's Yoga Maya. So this, yes, a short answer, Lord Brahma becomes under the jurisdiction of Krishna's Yoga Maya. Otherwise, he knows perfectly well who is Krishna. He is Adi Guru. He's the first person in the creation. He's directly enlightened. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. He's Adi Kavi. He's enlightened directly by the flute sound of Krishna entering his ear. He knows everything. But he gets covered by Krishna's Yoga Maya. So as you say, so this beautiful Leela can take place to satisfy the gopis, to satisfy the cowherd boys, satisfy the cows, to satisfy Krishna's only desire, his own personal desire for loving relationships with the cows, loving relationships with the elderly gopis, loving relationships with the cowherd boys.
Yeah, but you
It's
opened
all
up.
about love.
You opened up by saying even Lord Brahma can fall under Maya. So what's our position? That suggests uh, Mahamaya. I mean, that suggests material energy. You see. So that was your opening statement.
Yes, they can act just like electricity, Maharaj. By electricity, we can create cold and we can create heat. It's the same energy. Like Krishna says, Yogamaya Samavrita, Buddhoyam Nabijanati. This is Yogamaya acting to cover us, Mahamaya. I'm the enjoyer. I'm perfect, powerful, and happy. Everything's for me. I'm the boss. Get out of my way or the highway. Do as I say. This is all Mahamaya, but the source is Yogamaya. Yogamaya Samavrita. How we become Mudoyam. We become bewildered by this yoga. That Yogamaya is not acting in such a way to make us think Krishna's my son, Krishna's my lover, Krishna's my friend. That Yogamaya keeps us in this material world, birth after birth. But still, Krishna calls it Yogamaya in Bhagavad Gita. So I think my understanding from what little bit I can understand is that this Maya, his Yogamaya, acts in both ways to keep us bound up and keep us covered by illusion, and also illusions, Krishna's eternal associates, to think I'm the father of Krishna, I'm the mother of Krishna, I'm Krishna's best friend, I'm Krishna's lover, I'm Krishna's servant. All different relationships are there. That Yogamaya, we want this Yogamaya, not the other Yogamaya.
But we are in a different type of Maya. It seems where we want to enjoy material body, gross body, and mind, and material things, nice place to live, all these things. That hard to believe that that's in the same. It can't possibly be in the same category as Mother Yashoda forgetting that Krishna is God. You know, it can't be in the same category. Exactly.
It's like the example, Maharaj, electricity is one, but it becomes heat and it becomes cold. It's all electricity. That's, we can say achintya beda ved tattva. It's one energy, but acting in different ways. I have no other explanation. Maybe someone else can give some better answer, but that's my understanding, Maharaj.
Is when it is causing for Mother Yashoda to forget that Krishna is God, somehow or other it's a different aspect of the same energy is what you're saying.
Yes, just like during this, when Krishna gives Mother Yashoda darshan, coward boys come, we know the story. They accuse Krishna, you've eaten clay. Krishna says, no, I've not eaten clay. Mother Yashoda says, show me. He opens his mouth, and what does she see? The whole universe within the mouth of her son. For a moment, she's completely bewildered by Yogamaya. And she's bewildered, thinking that Yogamaya curtain opens, and who is this boy? He's God, the Supreme Lord. How can it be anything else but the Supreme Lord? Whole universe is within his mouth. I see myself within. I'm holding Krishna. I see myself within the mouth of Krishna. But then, again, Yogamaya covers. Oh, maybe he's hungry. His mouth is open. Maybe he wants to eat something. So Yogamaya acts in both ways. With that way, we have to admit. Bhagavad Gita calls Yogamaya Mudhoyam Nabijanati, that Maya that separates us from Krishna. And Yogamaya also is this Maya that facilitates Krishna Lila, that facilitates Krishna's loving relationships with his friends. Because if the coward boys are thinking that here is God, how can they wrestle with him? How can they steal food from him? How can Nanda Maharaj say, bring my shoes? Take your shoes on my head, on your head, Krishna, bring me my shoes. This Yogamaya facilitates all Krishna Lila.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, just I wanted to ask the question that you were speaking about mental speculation and real bhakti. So how can we identify clearly the difference between mental speculation and real bhakti? Means what actually in devotee life there might be many mental speculations and
Yeah.
the real bhakti.
Krishna says in Gita, na shasti vidimuchaja vartate kama karata, na sasiddhim avapnoti, na sukham, na param gatim. And what is Shastra? What is Shastra Vidhi? What does the book say? Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. These are our checks and balances. Guru teaches based on Shastra. Shastra explains what is Guru. Sadhu explains Shastra and also acts as Guru, Siksha Guru. So there's checks and balances. We understand what is speculation, the pushing of my own mind, and we understand what is truth by comparing the two. If we think, actually, you know, it's said in Shastra, Atmavat Seva, that Krishna is pleased when we offer him something that I like. So I like to eat lasun pakora, pyaj pakora. So this, I used to eat this and it's very tasty. I like it, so I will offer to Krishna. No, there's checks and balances. What does Shastra say? No, we don't offer this nasty thing to Krishna. Krishna doesn't eat tamasic food, rajasic food. So just a small example that we avoid mental, and there are many examples we can give. There are many situations that we want to understand the truth of something by Shastra, or a good way for us as followers of Srila Prabhupada is to simply ask ourselves if their mind is saying, well, this is probably okay, mental speculation. Ask yourself, would Prabhupada do this? What would Srila Prabhupada do in this circumstance? Would he do what I'm thinking to do? Then you'll get your answer. This is how Sadhu, Guru. Prabhupada Sadhu is also Guru. And he's also presenting Shastra. Just understand whether to do something or not to do something. Ask yourself, would Srila Prabhupada do this? Or Srila Prabhupada's sitting in the room with me, he's watching me. What will he think of what I want to do, what I'm about to do? What would he think about it? Then you'll know what to do. No need for speculation. We have sadhu, we have sadhus that give us good direction. We have guru who teaches us from Shastra. We have Shastra, absolute authority. Our whole basis is Shastra Vidhi, actually. That's why this verse means you reject Shastra Vidhi, then na sukham, you'll never be happy. Na param gatim, you'll never achieve supreme destination. So we follow Shastra. And if you don't aware of Shastra, ask somebody, ask a sadhu, and reflect on what your guru asked you to do. If you're not sure what to do, think that His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj is sitting in the room with me, or Srila Prabhupada is sitting in the room with me. Well, what will he think about my idea, what I want to do? Then you'll know what to do. Is that helpful to you?
Yes, please. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So, Prabhu, it's still a great mystery. Because if somebody is obsessed over illicit sex and intoxication, it's certainly not the same league as.
It's not going.
Yeah,
Whether
I'm
you're
not hearing correctly.
Huh? Mother Yashoda is forgetting that Krishna is God, certainly a different league than a fallen soul who is obsessed over illicit sex and intoxication. It may be the same transformation of the same energy, but there has to be a huge difference. Otherwise, why do we bother making the distinction otherwise?
Because we want to be like Mother Yashoda. We don't want to be like a prostitute. We have Maharaj, we have to choose. The day comes in every devotee's life where we simply have to choose. Do I want Krishna or do I want Maya? and then act accordingly. That day has to come in every devotee's life. What do we want? Ask yourself, what do I want? Why have I come to Krishna Bhakti? Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so very much, Prabhuji. Wonderful class. And like to have your association in the near future also, Prabhuji. And would like to invite you for, because now it's a lockdown, but after the lockdown, please come and visit us. And we'll take more online classes, Prabhuji, if you have some time. We'll ask for your.
Hours at your service. It's a great opportunity for me to associate with that. Even in this way, they say blind uncle is better than no uncle. Even in this way.
Thank you so very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So,
I'll
I'd like to
do
thank
this.
Sarvadrik Prabhuji for chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Sarvadrik Prabhuji ki jai.
Haribol, Haribol.